What's up guys, captaincto here, back with another video, and inside of today's video I am going to be covering the May 2021 Championship Challenge Guide. As usually we do it every month. It's kind of like a tradition by now. But again, it's going to come this weekend, and the maps here are going to be, first of all, Siege and Factory Rush, Hot Zone, Ring of Fire, Heist, Safe Zone, Bounty, Dry Season, and finally Brawl, Dribble. So it's actually really refreshing to see some new maps that we haven't really seen in Championship challenges before. Although we have seen Factory Rush, we haven't really seen, Safe Zone, Dry Season. We have seen Dribble, I think, but yeah, it's going to be really refreshing to see them. So again, let's hop right into the guide. So first off, we have Factory Rush. Now this map is really wide open, but it has some pretty good amount of cover as usual. And if you see, the numbers next to the bolts, this is actually the bolt pattern for Factory Rush. If you're like true blue, if you're true red, we're not really talking about, Clash Royale mechanics and stuff. But if you spawn from the red sides, then the spawns, the bolt spawns will kind of be, mirrored. So 1 after it's 2, number 2 that spawns, and then 3 you can use this to your advantage to try to control the lanes. And for the best brawlers here, we have Belle, we have Barley, we have Carl, we have Lou, great for defense, not really so great for offense. Colonel Ruffs, Spike, Stu, Pam, Crow could work also well, and Piper could work as well as Colt. But otherwise you don't really see other brawlers here. I mean, Penny and Jesse could also work out, but anyways, you don't really want to use tanky brawlers here, except if you want to dive here. But if you're going to dive in this map, it's really successful to dive in this map, although it's kind of a 2v3 or 1v3 where you have to sacrifice the mid control. So I wouldn't do that unless if you're guaranteed that you're gonna deal a ton of damage here. And for the best team comps, well, it's kind of varied per se, but I do like that there's a bit sort of variety. And although there is Belle, there is Spike and Stu that really dominate here, but otherwise it's really a flexible map with a lot of brawlers being played, and that's why I enjoy this map. So yeah, just play 3 lanes, kind of like win your lanes and get the control of the bolts. And yeah, that's going to be for this map. Let's hop onto Ring of Fire. So Ring of Fire is actually quite an open hot zone map, and the way you want to play this map is simply you don't want to go into the middle, because Belle can really just dominate the mid. You want to either go 2 people in the mid, one tries to support the mid brawler in the zone, and the other one kind of like either goes into the bushes or into the right side to pressure more. That's how I would really play this map. And for the best brawlers here, we have Poco, Lou, Belle, Nita, Frank, Pam's also good, Jesse, and there's like a whole other brawlers. Sandy isn't really as good as I thought he would be, although he's a really good brawler for controlling the zone, that I must admit. Tick has also a pretty high use rate as well, and Mortis, yeah, I don't know how he has a really high use rate, but he's not really good here because he just dies kind of like way too often, and there's too many control bars that he doesn't really face well against. And for the best team comps, well, in this map, Byron thrives in a lot of comps, as well as Poco and Pam. The other brawlers are kind of mixed, and we've seen a lot of Sandy as well in these comps. But although Sandy's still a very strong brawler, so if you don't know who to pick on this map, I would consider going one of the brawlers that I just mentioned previously. So yeah, that's it for Ring of Fire. Runs 4 through 6. Let's hop onto Safe Zone, where you'll get your next 3 wins, 7 through 9. Now, Safe Zone is kind of like, this typical heist map, although it's not really typical because there are mainly, two choke points, two main choke points from each side, and this is where it gets interesting because you can shoot across the water, but the most important part about playing this map is to just control the center, and that is where you can actually, counter push and kind of, defend properly against our brawlers. And for the best brawlers on this map, Belle is really strong, Crow as well. Colette is just super OP paired with Byron. Brock and Colt are also really good throwers. Barley is just a solid pick. Amber as well. Gale could work, although he doesn't have that much of a use rate. Jesse, 8-bit. 8-bit's kind of, a tough call because he's kind of slow, but as well he does a lot of damage, and his booster can really change the game. As well, other brawlers, they're kind of good here, but there's not really a whole load of variety of brawlers here. It's kind of enclosed and tight here. And for the best team comps, well, Belle is in a lot of them, Colette as well, Byron, Colt, Brock, your main typical brawlers in Heist. And this is what, makes this map kind of generic as well, because there isn't, 3 lanes, because one lane is just blocked by walls. The center lane isn't really blocked by anything other than the 2x2 stuff. And there is another choke point that you can access through to claim the save. So yeah. Wins 10 through 12, you have Dry Season, a really open bounty map, and so basically in this map you just want to play passive, and the only reason why you really want to go aggressive is you want to secure that kill. But honestly, you want just to play defense and hope the other team just goes really aggressive, because this is just a really wide open map, even wider than Shooting Star really is, and there's not a whole lot of cover in the center. It's just really 1x1 blocks, so there's really nothing to cover you except from your side of the map. And for this map, the best brawlers are going to be Nani, Belle, Mr. P, Jean, Barley, Sprout, Tick. Throws are really good here, and Mortis could work really well here. He has a pretty high win rate and also a really high use rate. Your typical brawlers, for bounty, Piper, Bo, Brock, Byron can also really work well here. So overall, it's just another typical bounty map that really doesn't really have anything special to it. So it's just the way you want to play it. It's just really simple. You want to go passive, and for the best team comps, Tick isn't a lot of them. Piper as well. Piper is just in almost every one of them. Belle could work too. Mr. P, Nani are in a lot of them too. And for the other brawlers, it's kind of like pick and choose. But honestly, I would just go one of the brawlers that I've mentioned previously if you do not know who to pick. So yeah, that's it for bounty. Let's hop on to the last set, which is triple dribble. Wins 13 to 15. So in this map, the walls are just really closed and tight, and it's not actually fully mirrored. There is a bush that kind of sticks out to the center a bit more than the others. So this map isn't diagonally or vertically symmetrical. It uses both axes of symmetry, by the way, so it's really good. You just want to hold the center, and you don't want to get pushed back because that can be really hurtful. And you just want to get a good lead, and you want to counter push, so you just want to maintain control as long as possible. For the best brawlers here, Belle could work really well, Barley as well as Jesse. Other brawlers that can work well here are Frank. He's just a really solid pick in general. Jean could work well. B could work well, although she doesn't have a high use rate. Ams and Jackie could also work well, and you know the other brawlers, Poco, Primo, Rico, and Sandy, and you know, although there's a lot of brawlers that can be played here, that explains you know why there are so many brawlers that are actually here, and not many brawlers that really repeat. The only two brawlers that actually repeat a ton are Rico and Barley, and the other um, maps you would see you know the same 6 brawlers repeat or 5. So it's really good to see that you can run a lot of comp varieties. So in this case, Poco double tank actually works really well here, and you know Poco double tank counters also work well here. So you know you've got a ton of comp varieties. Just go with which one you like. There's a lot of archetypes here, but yeah, that's going to be it for the video. And by the way, stay tuned for you know other guides to come, because I know that there's going to be another challenge related to you know the China launch that I will cover, as well as a hot zone map making guide if you want to stay tuned for that. So yeah, but that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.